Good morning and welcome to Sunday worship service. I am Washira, your celebrant this morning. I'm new to the UU. This is actually my first time. So this is going to be a very entertaining service, just to let you know. Yeah, this is how you kind of let out nervous energy. Perform it out. I'd like to extend a special welcome to all those who are joining us for the first time. We are very glad that you're here. If you've come in person, you should have received a welcome packet with an information card in it. If you fill that out and drop it in the offering basket, we will be in touch to support you in finding your way into your community. Right. If you're joining us online, there's a link on our website to an electronic version of the same card. Our welcoming committee members have yellow name tags and can answer any questions or point you towards additional information. There's going to be a lot of smiling today, by the way. Just to be sure. Also, I'm holding a balloon just because it's a balloon. Who wants a balloon? Nice. Whether you're new or not, please consider staying after the service for coffee and conversation, either downstairs in our fellowship hall if you want to have coffee with the members who've been here for a while, or you could meet me upstairs if you're a new member for a new members hangout or / reception. There will be snacks. And now, let's say our words of welcome together. Whether this is your first or your 1000th Sunday with us, whether you strolled, rolled, zoomed, ran, or danced in, we are glad you chose to join us. We are one people of many beliefs, identities, origins, sexualities, and genders. All are welcome here. Now we'll take a moment to say hello across the technical divide. First, we're going to show the people joining us on Zoom. If you're at home, please turn on your camera. Now, people at home, wave. Yay. Okay, now people in attendance, in the building. It's your turn. Let's wave. Right. We do have a couple of announcements. To start with, as I'll put it as an announcement again, that this is something we're trying out for the first time. Well, I think probably it's been done before. I don't know. It's me doing it the first time. That if you're a new member and you want to meet us after the service, I'll be in the library, which is just upstairs. And we can just have a small group of just a conversation. We can just get to introduce you to our church and let you know what our community is all about. So yeah, you're very welcome to join. Also, I should announce we have an Instagram page. Ooh, I know. If you search for UU Church of the Palouse, it's as easy as that. You'll find it. It's the only UU Church of the Palouse on Instagram. So yeah, if you go search on us, we're on Instagram. We're now on Facebook as well. If you want to join our online community and you want to show your friends what kind of things we're doing, I'll be posting as much as possible. So if you also have anything you want to share with me, on the website, there's my email. Please share with me anything you want me to share with the rest of the group, I guess, if that makes sense. Any other announcements? Yes.
Okay, so a repair cafe at the 1912 Center this afternoon. One to four. Our library does it, and there will be electricians and seamstresses and people who can sharpen and fix knives and tools at the 1912 between 1 and 4.
Any other announcements? Right. We preface our service by acknowledging our church was built on ancestral lands of the Nimipu, called Nezpas by the French-speaking traders. The Palouse and the Shitsumush, called Coeur d'Alene. Let us pause and remember that we live on ground that is sacred, ground that was stolen, ground that cries out for justice and for responsible stewardship. May our remembering help us find courage to do our part to restore wholeness to the earth and all her peoples. We are hoping that the people joining us on Zoom have a chalice or a candle to light and something to light it with. Let's light our chalice together.
And the warmth of love,
we gather to seek and seek to share. And now for a song of affirmation.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Dr. Elizabeth Stevens, and I am lucky enough to serve this congregation as its minister. I am of the opinion that, in large part, the purpose of religious community is to support and sometimes push along our individual and collective processes of spiritual evolution. That is to say, we gather together so that we can learn and grow and become better, kinder humans. Now, biological evolution is a pretty ruthless process. It's driven by mutation and death. Spiritual evolution, on the other hand, at its best has a lightness to it. So while we certainly grow and change through failure, loss, and heartbreak, we also evolve through experimentation and play. We can experience an amazing and inexorable process of unfolding understanding when we're willing to wonder, willing to try things on for side, get creative, or even just goof around a little. Now, nothing stops that process in its tracks more effectively than the dread phrase, "We've always done it that way." See, form needs to serve function. How we do something has to be determined by what we are trying to accomplish, and different processes or mechanisms are going to be effective at different times and in different contexts. Sometimes we get attached to the form, and that attachment can actually get in the way of serving the underlying function we're aiming for. It's a strange sort of stuckness. Also suckiness. And it saps vitality out of a person or a community. So today we're going to reflect together on the importance of play and lightness, lack of attachment. We're going to be a little silly, But we'll also remember why we are embracing play, so that we can evolve together in ways that better serve our deep purpose, which isn't something we take lightly at all. So let's begin now by singing hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Now let's take a moment to engage in the practice of generosity together. For all those able to make a financial contribution, the logistics are on the screen. We typically give away all the cash from our Sunday offering to local charities whose missions align with the values of with our values. Our program called Month of Sundays does that. So this month, the recipient is the Recovery Center. The Later Recovery Center. Allegedly. Okay, confirmed. Yes, the Later Recovery Center. Whose mission is supporting people who have issues with mental health and addiction, so into recovery. In the spirit of love and the continuing work of this church, we'll now take some time to practice generosity together. It's Balloon Sunday, so play with a balloon today. Don't be gloomy, it's so sunny. It's a sunny day. It's a balloon sunny day. Don't be gloomy. It's a Sunday. Don't be gloomy. It's a Sunday, don't be gloomy. It's a Sunday, it's a Sunday, it's a Sunday.
Okay, not to take the mood down too much, but I did want to light our candle of broader concern. As a response to the shooting in Pennsylvania yesterday. So while we, of course, extend compassion to all those directly impacted, the families of the two people who died and those who were wounded, the intended target, everyone who witnessed the attack and will carry that trauma with them always, I want to name the way that this attempted assassination impacts all of us. In my body, I experience an increase in anxiety and fear, and as I breathed into those feelings, what I discovered is that this incident for me is both evidence of the fragility of our democracy and a further attack on that structure. So, let's breathe for a moment together. Whatever feelings rise up, let peace drift down on top of them, surrounding them, settling into our hearts and minds. In the face of violence, we affirm always and ever the sacredness of life. May it be so. And now I'd invite Rodney Fry forward to lead us through the sharing of joys and sorrows. Thank you. We're going to enter now into a time of meditation. This is a bit of a guided meditation. So I'd invite you to begin by getting comfortable in your body. You might try breathing into any tight places, tense places. It might help to shake or wiggle or stretch. You might need to release distractions, worries, your to-do list. Let go of anything you need in order to feel relaxed and focused and free. Now, the invitation is to do some remembering. With each breath or heartbeat, let yourself drift back and back. If you come up against any shoulds or self-consciousness, just let them go. Any ideas of propriety or responsibility, let those go too. Release anything that makes you feel trapped in a body or a life that isn't fully your own. And just keep drifting and releasing until you come to a memory of unbridled, enthusiastic, unrestrained play. Maybe in your memory you're witnessing someone you love, a small child or a pet or a stranger, as they play. But better yet, see if you can find the memory of a time when you yourself were able to play. Free, joyful, fully present, fully alive. Can you feel the vitality, the energy, the potential in this moment of unfettered play? Can you make a home for that spark inside of you? Can you keep it burning as you gently come back to the present moment? Play is a necessary and generative invitation. It is not something frivolous or childish. Play is how we learn, how we grow, how we become. So may the spark, the lightness, the fun linger in us through all the days and weeks to come. Amen, and blessed be. Huh?
There's a sorrow.
Okay.
There's I'd like to share from Nancy Metzler. There was a sorrow that was typed into the Zoom chat, and that was just a little missed. She says, yesterday the Jennings daughter and my niece Molly's partner Ethan was in a serious auto accident. Ethan's injuries are life-threatening and needed immediate emergency surgery to survive. He made it through the surgery last night, but is in critical condition in the ICU in Wenatchee. Please send positive thoughts and prayers.
Thank you, Alex. From the sublime back to the silly, I'm going to lead you through a responsive reading by Mohan Embar. Your responses will be up on the screen. You don't like responsive readings. Oh, we got to get them up. Hold on. Okay, there we go. You don't like responsive readings. Responsive readings run contrary to everything you believe in as a Unitarian Universalist, because instead of formulating your own thoughts and opinions in your own unique way, you simply repeat words that I have chosen for you. Look, I can make you moo like a cow, or bleat like a sheep. Repeat after me. I will never, ever mindlessly repeat words that someone else has chosen for me. And I will always take charge of my thoughts by formulating them in my own unique way. Thank you. I've got a second short reading. This comes from an article called The Wisdom of Play by Anthony McCarr, and it was in the UU World a few years back. What's amazing is how evolution, which is as practical and ruthless as you can get, seems to love playfulness. It's because play develops your mind and keeps it sharp. It's because play can provide safe outlets for releasing aggressive impulses. Who hasn't witnessed a generous, sweet friend at the game board turn into Donald Trump? It's because play of the specifically risky sort, like climbing, chasing, and being chased, wandering, and getting lost, teaches kids how to regulate fear and anger. We play because play teaches people how to take turns, which is nothing less than the basis of civilization. We play because it gives people the opportunity to connect and socialize. We play because it energizes the imagination and can open doors to new insights and connections. So you may remember, in March of 2020, we shut down in-person services and gatherings due to COVID. Since in-person services and gatherings were pretty much what we did at the time, it left us in a bit of a pickle. We had to completely reinvent how we do things here, how we do church, how we do community, and we were not prepared. Luckily, we had a lot of support from the Unitarian Universalist Association. We had a fabulous and skilled staff team, as well as many willing volunteers. And we had a gracious and loving community of folks who not only were ready to step up and help, but were willing to forgive any slips or stumbles we made along the way. All of those things made a huge difference, but do you know what I think helped the most? When we stopped trying to get it right. We stopped trying to get it right and started to just play. We'd come up with an idea, figure out how to make it happen, and if it worked, great, we'd do it again. And if it didn't work, oh well, we just let it go. We called it throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. I think it was Ryan Urey who actually came up with that metaphor. This playful philosophy is what guided us through the turbulence of lockdown, the disruption of construction, and the chaos of moving back in. I'm bringing it up today because I want to make sure it continues to guide us in the days, months, and years to come. See, it's likely that we're not done with turbulence, disruption, and chaos. And I'm not just talking about the election and its aftermath. I'm talking about climate change, the end of the carbon economy, the breakdown of capitalism. There are so many systems and habits that are no longer working the way they used to. The old ways of doing things are crumbling beneath our feet. And we could respond with dread and anxiety, and probably sometimes we do. We could respond by doubling down on those old ways, spending our energy shoring them up. And sometimes we probably should. But we could also decide to play our way into a new future, play our way into new structures, new systems, new ways of being human together. We could play our way into a future we can only begin to imagine. Brené Brown agrees that our capacity to lead is linked to our capacity to play. Play is one of the things that will allow us to survive and thrive in difficult times. Brown is fond of quoting Brian Sutton Smith, who said that the opposite of play isn't work, it's depression. The opposite of play isn't work, it's depression. To create a list of the ways she plays, Brown asks herself to reflect on three things. What are the times that she's spent without a specific purpose? What are the things she does that make her lose track of time? And what are the things that make her feel liberated and uninhibited? Pointless, no purpose, so absorbing that we lose track of time, and they make us feel liberated and uninhibited. Those are the characteristics of play. Psychologist Dr. Peter Gray identifies 5 characteristics of true creative play. First, play has to be willingly chosen. There can't be any coercion or pressure to start something or to continue doing something if it doesn't feel fun anymore. Play requires the freedom to participate or not. Second, play is self-determining. We make up the rules ourselves. And those rules are made up to suit the moment. There's no room for nitpicking or micromanaging. Third, creative play is imaginative play. It allows us or requires us really to think outside the box. Our thoughts and choices in true play are freewheeling. There are no limits or requirements. Fourth, play is something we do purely for fun. There can't be any underlying purpose or hidden agenda. We play just to play. And fifth, true play is completely absorbing. We lose ourselves in what we are doing. We aren't distracted or anxious. We're completely present. We allow our play to absorb our entire focus. So here's my question. How do you play? When do you play? And with whom? That's a real question. Anyone want to answer? Pickleball. Dance, jigsaw puzzles. Art. Improvising with music. Does anybody do improv? I have a friend who does improv, and that's wild play. Beach walks. Charades. Does weeding count? No. But if you think it counts, you're welcome to come to my house anytime. Spending time with baby beagles, puppies and kittens. Playing with your grandchildren. Bird watching. When my boys were little, we had this game that we made up. We called it Hide the Squishy. And we had this ball. I think I got it at CVS for 99 cents, and it had like tentacles on it. And so you had to squish it, and you'd say, I'm going to hide the squishy. And then you'd hide the squishy, and then everybody had to wander around the house saying, here squishy, 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 squishy. It was the best. And then Sam made the rule that we had to do wearing underwear on our head, which, clean underwear, I promise. So I think it's probably easiest to play with kids, but we, as humans, we benefit from solo play, and we need to play with other grown-ups too. The community known as the UU Church of the Palouse, we're surviving and thriving because we make time and space to play together. And individuals who know how to play are more resilient and successful. As Dr. Jack Shonkoff from Harvard puts it, in the best of all worlds, play doesn't end until you die, because play is a way of thinking and engaging in the world. Play is one of the most important vehicles for having some sense of mastery and control over the world that you live in, which is getting us very close to the definition of what resilience is all about. It's not being able to just deal with predictable things that you're expecting and you're prepared to cope with, but being able to deal with anything life sends your way. Dr. Lyneth Solis, another Harvard researcher, has observed that play allows children to deal with uncertainty. It allows children to pivot, to adapt, to follow different paths depending on what's happening right in front of them. So it's an iterative process. And those skills that are developed over time are the building blocks of the coping mechanisms that become important when children are exposed to uncertain situations, like a pandemic, etc. And the interesting thing is that this has also been shown to be true for adults. In other words, play keeps us from getting stuck, which is why evolution loves playfulness. If we choose change and experimentation, we grow, we become with ease and without a lot of stress, as opposed to trying to change in reaction to stressors, which I think is maybe a more common experience. Am I right? Do we try to change in response to stressors? Just as an example, I want you to think about the aging process. As I'm fond of pointing out, there seem to be two basic paths as people age. Some folks are proactive about identifying and using accessibility supports, and some people cling stubbornly to their pride and resist seeking or accepting help until disaster strikes and they don't have a choice. Now, people who choose the first path tend to stay more active and involved, and the second path is a lot rougher, which is why I bring it up over and over and over again, because I want you to choose this one, okay? So, what if we choose to see accessibility supports, canes, wheelchairs, hearing aids, glasses, etc., as new toys? New toys that we get to play with. Maybe we don't even wait until we need them. We can explore them. We can get familiar with available technologies. We can try them out, see what they can do for us. What a kick to just experiment and play and discover tools and toys that enhance our abilities. How different is that from just dreading our inevitable decline? When we think about the challenges we face as a church community, we could focus on several trends that are concerning and worry about them and try to respond to them. There's the overall decrease in volunteerism that we see nationwide. Church attendance is trending down. It's especially noticeable among young people. The most recent data on UU congregations specifically shows a very disturbing drop in numbers of children in the RE programs. We are the exception, and do you know why? Because Ginger and Ryan kept throwing spaghetti at the wall. Other churches couldn't figure out how to support families during pandemic, and we just kept playing. We just kept playing. Now, on a societal scale, how does it shift our awareness if we approach, say, adopting more sustainable habits? What if we turn that into a game? What if we gamify it? What if we think about dismantling racism or other structures of oppression as a giant game of Jenga? Do you know about Jenga? It's that thing you stack blocks on the table and you try to slide them out without knocking the tower down. Only this time we want the tower to fall, right? So we're going to challenge this behavior or examine this thought or try this experiment, breaking the structures down piece by piece, knowing that eventually the whole thing's going to crumble. You know, there are things in life that we do need to hold on to, like our integrity, like our deep values, our commitment to be the change we want to see in the world. But there's so much else that we can afford to just hold lightly, that we should be able to let go easily, especially in these times when so much is shifting or crumbling. We can be serious about justice without taking ourselves too seriously. We can hang on to our ideals while being playful in our approach to living them out. Laughter helps us stay regulated, which is to say, in our right mind rather than stuck in a trauma response. Creative play facilitates growth. It opens pathways to new possibilities. It offers imaginative solutions for all of those vexing and seemingly intractable problems that we're facing in this historical moment. In the words of George Bernard Shaw, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. So let's keep playing. Let's keep evolving. Let's keep hoping and connecting and imagining. And let's do all these things together. Not because it's more effective, though it is more effective, but because it's more fun that way. So be it, and so may it be. I invite you now to rise in body or spirit. Let's sing together hymn number 311, Let It Be a Dance. Our closing reading is Prayer by Mary Oliver. May I never not be frisky. May I never not be risque. May my ashes, when you have them, friend, and give them to the ocean, leap in the froth of the waves, still loving movement, still ready, beyond all else, to dance for the world. Let's join now in our sung benediction, There is a Love. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all I rest in this love. Please join me in the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this chalice that it might flow gently in our hearts. May it guide our paths as we leave this place. May it guide our way until we are together again. Have a fun week. Don't be afraid to play. It's a spiritual practice and a spiritual discipline. So engage. Live life fully and have fun. I love you all. Go in peace. Come back next Sunday.